For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Good morning. Independent candidate Marcella Steed for Castries North. This morning I'm on the beach in Rodney Bay. Alright. And behind me there's a fence. As you can see, there's a fence. I just want to remind Invest St. Lucia, the developer, the Prime Minister, the legal representative for that company. I want to remind Ernest Hilaire, Minister of Tourism, Kenson Kazime, right, that citizens are allowed 180 meters from the watermark, right? You cannot put a fence on the beach. I don't know if you all are aware of it. You cannot fence the beach. You cannot block citizens from access to the beach. And this is a slippery slope. Right? This is a slippery slope. I don't know if you all are testing us. I don't know the reasoning for that. Honestly, I don't know. I came on the beach this morning. I see this fence, and I am making this video to caution you. You are not allowed to fence the beach. Right? Capital is only one aspect of tourism. Capital is one aspect of tourism. You need land, you need labor. Right? You need community. You cannot fence the beach. Right? This fence needs to come down immediately. I'm calling on all investors, tourism minister, Kenson Kazime, to advise these people to take this fence down immediately. Their legal representation, Mark Maraj, tell these people to take that fence down today. You have by the end of the day to remove that fence, or I will be removing it myself. Morning, Marcella Steed, as promised. I removed up to the water line. This morning, the fence is down, people can walk through. Construction area can still continue.
Marcellus Backsteed gets it done. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. As always, please like the video, share, subscribe to the NewsSpin YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and Jante is here going through the comments in the chat rooms as usual, and she'll be having some updates for us, and I'll be taking your calls in a moment at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Kudos to Marcellus Backsteed. And it's not often NewsSpin finds itself in a position to do that, showering praise on people who want to represent us in the island's parliament. Because politicians blow a lot of hot air. They promise and they pretend to care. But in the final analysis, it's all about trying to please certain individuals in the society, prominent people who have money, who are influential, and ignoring you, so-called ordinary St. Lucians, the working class. It takes a whole lot for politicians in St. Lucia, once they get higher office, to look after your interests as citizens. What they do very often is they cherry pick. You know, a little handout there, something to appease you. But the fact remains, they seldom take critical decisions, particularly in a timely manner that would have a positive impact on you. It had to take Backsteed to remove this encumbrance or this impediment on the beach at Rodney Bay. From the time it was set up, the parliamentary representative should have been aware of it, that be sufficiently conscious to realize that this is something that is very sensitive, and we have been there before. The minister with responsibility for tourism and investment should also have put himself in the shoes of beach users. Likewise, operatives of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And you'd ask me, why operatives of the SLP? They are influential. They pick up the phone every now and then either to attack yours truly on NewsSpin or on social media, Facebook, etc. And also, when it suits them, they call officials of the SLP and the MPs to alert them of what is happening in the various constituencies, particularly if it would prove disadvantageous to them politically. So they knew of that encumbrance on the beach, never took the opportunity to call the MP, the Prime Minister, the Tourism Minister, if they were not aware of it, because when politicians are in office, all of a sudden they are very busy, it appears, doing nothing. Or whatever they're doing does not directly impact you, the citizens of the country. But when they're in opposition, can you imagine the beach would be in that condition and Kenson Casimir would be in opposition? what would he do? What would the other officials, the leadership of the SLP do if at the time they were in opposition? And for too long, we have been, as a citizen and as a country, as people, complaining about the same things. And what Backstreet did there sets a precedent. Going forward, I don't think any developer in their right mind would want to do that. And you know, most St. Lucians like to sit on the sidelines and wait for somebody to do something that would benefit them. So Marcellus Backstreet now is seen as a hero, because most of the people would have seen this who would have complained quietly behind the scenes, whispered their concerns, they would praise him. But we all can play our part, irrespective of which administration that is in office, to say to those who are in power, to say to developers, get serious. We cannot consistently be clamoring and complaining about the same things in our country. And there are some prominent and influential people in this country, we won't identify them because it's a waste of time, who can do better, who can raise their voices on behalf of ordinary citizens but remain quiet because they are benefiting. If they are not benefiting, the friends are benefiting, relatives are benefiting. But the time will come very soon when they will want to speak out. And some of us have the memory of an elephant. And they will be dealt with accordingly, because we have, as a society, to be consistent. So once again, kudos to you, Marcellus Backstreet. Something that probably would still be discussing on this broadcast this afternoon, complaining and the usual. We're calling on the authorities to call this broadcast and to tell us what is happening with regard to this fence on the beach. Can somebody call and explain to us what is happening and how, it can be removed, create some pathway whereby people can access the other side of the beach, etc. And no one would call. So, congratulations to you on this particular move. Hope that's a lesson for the other politicians in St. Lucia. The fisher folk of this island of ours. Every year, during the observance of Fishermen's Feast, Agriculture Minister, Fisheries Minister, Chief Fisheries Officer, prominent people would come out, attend the church service, and mix with the ordinary fisher folk of this country, because everything is about votes, and hug them and meaningful contribution you're making to the development of this country, and we applaud you. But they are victims of what the Americans call kinetic strikes. And you realize how those so-called leaders either remain quiet because, I think it's historic, maybe the first, we've had in Lisa Jarayer, the first female agriculture minister. I'm subject to correction, but I think if memory serves me right, she's the first female to serve in that position. First female agriculture minister, first female fisheries minister. Her time is to do what? Among other things, take to Facebook and play politics. So far, she stands out for that. But what about the plight of the fisher folk in general? But specifically, what happened to those men on the high seas? What happened to them? Do you care, Fisheries Minister? The island's Prime Minister spoke to the media on this. Hedging, extra careful, diplomatic, because he's not on the platform attacking certain journalists or attacking his political opponents, at which time he's normally very effusive. It flows. It's speaking about the Americans who launched that vicious, lethal attack on our fisherfolk. Just listen to the Prime Minister on this.
I can confirm that people lost their lives and the circumstances have got no official notification on the circumstances surrounding the death.
Is it submissions or not?
I can confirm that people lost their lives, but I've got no official notification on anything else. I can confirm that people lost their lives, but I've got no official notification.
Are you investigating, the government investigating this issue?
The issue will be investigated by the powers responsible for investigations.
The powers responsible for investigations. Who are they? That's what I would ask. The follow-up question is always the most important question. Who are those officials? So, for the authorities in Castries, your fisheries minister, your prime minister, as far as the eyes can see, chief fisheries officer, fisheries department, whatever, that's a dead story. It's done. So, to the fishermen, ça what quoi about ça? Ou quoi si officier en l'été ou actuellement maintenant il bien wed pour un poisson. Bien wed pour un poisson. Et que tu deboug maintenant les fishermen quand il en mer cheve poisson et ben qui ça yon en de l'eau à map mais yo tue à dans situation qu'on ou faible ou les premier ministre représentative pour venir et parler à son compte et pour du bout de yo et pourtant ça yo ka di ou pas ka ten yo ka di rien en l'été wow so qui manière ou ka senti ko. But there's one individual who has been forthright, very critical of how the authorities have dealt with this. He's been making frequent appearances on NewsSpin over the last few days via his comments, his statements on various issues, including the citizenship by investment program. He's taking the authorities over in his homeland, St. Vincent, to task. And I imagine indirectly in St. Lucia. Let's listen to former Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves.
The similar kind of mealy-moutedness, weakness in expressions about the blowing up of boats in our waters. You mean to tell me you can't come out and say the Americans are wrong? You just say you're concerned? Huh? And it's something which you're pursuing still to find out? Up to now, the Americans disrespect you so much. They didn't give you any information? They haven't raised this matter at the level of President Trump, by writing him. They haven't raised it in any formal communication with Rubio, you know. They haven't said that. I saw Noe in this press briefing. He says that he indicated to the Americans that he wanted, if it's 5 minutes by himself, with Rubio, to talk to him about this boat which got blown up. He said he talked to it among his CARICOM colleagues, but not with Rubio. I read this very clearly, you know, this transcript. I read it. You can't even bring yourself to say that. You can sympathize as much as you want with the fishermen, but fishermen are being met by U.S. Coast Guard. Down to this morning, I was told this by somebody who had a communication with fishermen. And they had to show them the fishing gear, because there's the assumption that the meteor out there is drugs you're dealing with. You don't hear what Trump said in his State of the Union address? That blowing up the boat now is killing the fishing industry. And he boasts about that.
Very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore.
You cannot do that, Mr. President. And we have to talk honestly and frankly about this. You are looking after your interests in what you consider your interests in the United States. But we have to talk about the interests of our fishermen. And we have to be clear and unequivocal. And the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has not done anything of any significance to find out what has happened. How did this take place? You go through the charged affair in Barbados, that's all you do? This matter should be on the front burner in all our diplomatic exchanges with the Americans. This is a serious matter. Here the flippant manner in which, the frivolous manner in which Leacock dealt with the matter. Well, it's really not a Vinci thing, because no Vincentian got killed, only Lucians, or words to that effect. I mean, what kind of rubbish is that?
Former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. You listened to Ralph? You listened to his St. Lucian friend, Philip J. Pierre? Is Ralph up to something? Does he make sense? Or do you believe that we just should keep quiet on such sensitive matters, pivotal matters? And the deafening silence on the part of our authorities in St. Lucia, it says something about us, about the quality of leadership that we have to endure. Because leadership is about looking after the interest of the weak. Lawyers will tell you that. People who can't represent themselves. And it can happen to those two fishermen. It can happen to other fishermen in St. Lucia. I remember when it happened to some individuals on the seas over in Trinidad. We never took note. And we're guilty of that on NewsSpin. We never made it an issue. It has landed on our doorsteps. At least in the case of Trinidad, the relatives of the two people who were blown up to smithereens have taken the Americans to court. The subject of discussion in the media in Trinidad. But in St. Lucia, For whatever reason or reasons, we have remained quiet. Let's just imagine that those two individuals were up to no good on the high seas and they were blown up by the Americans. Is that justification for that to happen? When we're talking about protecting the rights of our citizens, human rights, there's something called due process. Arrested, if there's evidence, charge you, hold you before court, find you guilty, you get legal representation. If you're found guilty, deal with you. But those people who have to demonstrate the mettle, who have to show that they are leaders, that they care about the poor man, the ordinary man, the fisher folk, etc. What they have done? Nada. Absolutely nothing to represent your interest. And those of you who have been in the audience watching, no explanation to you. None at all. None is owed. And you're not requesting any kind of explanation from the authorities. All you're saying is, what was told to me is that 2 people died. That's all. End of story. So let's take your calls right now at 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And Jante going through your comments in the chat rooms. She will be providing us with some updates. We have a call. Let's see if we can take a call via WhatsApp. Just bear with me. We're trying to see if we can get a particular call on the air right now. Hello. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good day, Tim. Good day, Tim. I'm batting. I'm starting opening the batting.
Go right ahead.
Tim, straight to the point. Straight to the point this afternoon. I'm firing on all cylinders. Tim, my instructions are that the commissioner has been home from the 1st of March. Today's the 14th. There is no leader in the police force presently. Are you aware?
Yes. And as a matter of fact, DBS reported last evening that the 2 deputies of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, they are in charge of that law enforcement agency.
2 of them in charge, Tim?
Yeah, that's the information we have.
2 of them can be in charge?
Yeah.
2 of them can be in charge.
No, that's what
you
we have.
Now, I will say something today, Tim. That's why I'm starting off first.
According to your information, do we have an officer in charge of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force?
There is no such term, Tim.
Okay, do we have an
to have an acting
do we have an
commissioner.
acting police commissioner right now as we speak?
No.
Right, so the information we got is that you have 2 deputies running the show.
Tim, but somebody must be in charge, Tim. And I hope Mr. Roman Gil Francis is listening, because we spoke about those things before the election, Tim. Y'all are not hearing Zopakatan. Tim, only under the SLP, those madness happening, you know. You must have, there is no such term as officer in charge of the force. You must appoint a commissioner or an acting commissioner. Now, if the man at his home from the first, 12 days, he's at his home. You mean the Public Service Commission or whoever has to send the recommendation, forward it, names, whatever, do the process, have not gotten, is still asleep? Where is the Prime Minister? A man who talks about the police, oh, he liked the police, his father was a policeman. That's why I tell you, every time SLP is in office, that force is in disarray, Tim.
Well, somebody just
that force is in disarray.
Somebody sent some information saying that there's Mr. Ronald Phillip is acting until the 31st.
Who made him act, Tim?
I don't
How
know.
is he acting? Who made him act? Or by virtue of a telephone call? That is why that force will never improve him. You have Mr. Philip who rose up to his seat, and I say sit on purposely. He rose up to his seat since 2021. And then you have a deputy commissioner in Mr. Shallery who have served with 3 commissioners. Tim, I spent 12 years. I spent 45 years and a half in the force. Under 12 different commissioners. Those things have never happened. Huh? Why are we accepting those things from the SLP team? And don't tell me it's not government. Because the government...
Caller, I think you should say the government, caller, because when you say SLP and UWP, politicizing the issue and dividing the people on something that we should be united on, don't you think?
No, but Tim, let me tell you. Okay, I'll say SLP.
Because people get...
Or you don't want me to say SLP?
People normally get very defensive about their party, you know. They're quick to defend their party and not defend...
I have the evidence to prove
and not defend the honor of the country. Mm-hmm.
The jokers that would call and say, that's not so. I have the evidence to prove. Because I told you who I was. All right? Those things, you know why they wouldn't give it to Mr. Shallery? Because of 2 things. 2 people. Claudius Francis and Richard Frederick. You remember the attack Shallery came under from Claudius after the COVID marches, Tim, and the arrest of Christopher Hunt. But Mr. Shallery, you learn a lesson. What you should have done, stand as a man and arrest Richard Frederick. You took him out. You took him away and you let him go. And you all arrested Christopher Hunt, a cardboard soldier. You all should have arrested. You should have taken the lead and arrest Richard Frederick. Today, Richard Frederick would not be talking and doing the nonsense he's doing there. But you see, when you're a sheep, that's what happens to you all down the road. You didn't see it coming. But you have spent about 10 years as a deputy, and you cannot act commissioner once. And they're taking a junior man who should not even be in the rank of deputy and make him act commissioner. You see where we are, Tim? You see where we are? But nobody else will say that. Me alone that can say that.
Yeah,
Tim.
but call all this in there subjective. I mean, there are
subjective?
people. No. There are some
Tim,
people.
I'm telling you. Tim,
there are some
let me
people.
tell you something.
There are some people who enter a job, and before you know it, because of their prowess, because of the performance on the job, they are elevated. They are promoted. So until you can prove otherwise, we should not be judging somebody purely.
I will say
on the basis of them.
My final statement. Let me make my final statement. Tim. I saw both Mr. Shallery and Philip enter the force. All right. So I ain't telling you things about people I don't know. I saw when they were recruited and I saw them. I was there already, way ahead of them. So I'm not telling you, I'm not guessing what I'm telling you there. And I want Mr. Omangil Francis to call, or any retired police officer, Mr. James, tell me when that have ever happened in the force before. You all were there before me. Papi show. Tim, I have more to say, but I'll give the line a chance now.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we could go through some more of your messages. Just stand by. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, just bear with me. Somebody says via WhatsApp, good day to you. You from Bogies, man. You're speaking Patois so well. I have some relatives over in Bogies. Yes, I do. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, okay, we have lost that message. Let me turn my attention to you. Janti, let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Well, good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, say Sakinom, brave Marcellus. The government is not aware of anything in this country because they turn a blind eye. It's all about greed. Bax hasn't given a name for anything. He has been Bax and no need for Baka. Another YouTube comment here reading, a Nobel Prize for Marcellus Steed. St. Lucia must choose wisely a leader that can represent both regional and international levels. Where is St. Lucia's external force minister? Has he ever said anything on the killing of St. Lucian fishermen? Not a word, not a word, not a word. But the mood is red. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, that's right, my brother, move that. Bravo to you, Bax, for taking down the fence. Say Saki Nom. Too many questions, too little answers. I'm telling you straight up, people getting fed up. We have another comment here reading, they need to be more St. Lucians like that. Good day to everyone. Bax, my guess was right. This he lie would not do anything about that fence. He simply called to trick you. How his true form is pleasing the investor. Tim, you can't blame the goat that leads the sheep. Blame the sheep that allows the goat to corn them. We have a few more comments here saying, where is national trust? It's time for us to identify them. Tim. Marcellus, hope you have your bail monies aside. We have another comment reading, this PM sounds like he has no purpose and he lacks confidence to do his own job. Ralph switching on his boys in red. Ralph blasting his comrades with Iranian missiles. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, the sluggish guy on NBC has been absent for a few days now. Ralph, they won't invite you to the next delegation conference of comrades. I'm loving this new version of Ralph. Dr. Friday seems to be wanting to cozy up with the Red Boys crew. He's not standing up for anything. It's Ralph who's speaking the truth to power now. We have another comment saying, Gonsalves is more concerned about Lucians than our own PM. They must have mistreated him when he came back here to lick his wounds after his election loss. So Ralphie said, we'll see. Ralphie, you're welcome to St. Lucia anytime. If Peep stops inviting you, I'll send you an invitation. Another comment reading, Tim, the fishermen were not in American waters. This was wrong. Who can we sue? I know the families can sue the U.S. federal government through the U.S. courts and also send a letter to the U.S. Human Rights Organization. That's a start. St. Lucians are not mincemeat. We have a gorgeous island. We need to do right by our people, that government. We have another comment here saying, poor Vingard, he's trying, but the man doesn't have the resources and he's getting pressure on the horizon. Are you telling me you don't see anything wrong with what's going on in St. Lucia? We're dealing with Sesame Street fellas. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. Let's see if we get another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Yes, Tim.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the water processing stuff again. Why we lacking water in St. Lucia when we have so many rivers down here. This process is only because of lack of proper processing and lack of proper structuring. And that's what it is. And the last time I called you, I talked about storage tanks. First, you cannot pull your water straight from your source into your treatment plant. This is a bad process. This process has to be from your treatment plant to your feed water tank. What Wasco has to do is to have like a 2 million gallon tank somewhere in Calisac feeding the treatment plant. So in sense, your water is going to have enough time to settle. So you're going to have a settlement tank of 2 million gallons before it goes to your treatment plant. As for, you're going to have enough time to recover on your source. You're going to have enough time, sufficient time to cover on your source. So your source is going to have time to recover. When you feed your treatment plant with that 2 million gallons you have down the hill, also you could have bypasses. You could have bypasses where if there's a failure somewhere on your feed tank, you could have bypasses where you could still use the process of running your water from the dam into your treatment plant. This is a process that is just not right the way doing it. That means the dam never has a chance to recover the way it's supposed to. In processes like that, your whole source has to have recovery time. And I said it the other day. There needs to be recovery time on your pumps, on your treatment plant, on whatever. Also, you have to have distribution tank somewhere, at least 2 million gallons worth of distribution tank. After your water has been processed, then it goes to these tanks. Either you have a 1 million gallon up the mount, and you have another 1 million gallon further down, and you have bypasses, whereas on these tanks, whereas if one fail in between, you could still bypass your line and nobody suffers. And the other implementation they need to have was, for instance, as I said, if you have 500,000 people feeding on the Castries area, the way you need to do that is like, okay, you're going to give everybody 4 gallons, multiply the population by 4 gallons. This is going to be like 200,000, okay? Then you give everybody a 3-day supply. You give the process a 3-day supply. You multiply that by a 3-day supply, which if everything happens, then your population have 3-day supplies in order to feed from, in order to do your maintenance, whatever you are, your maintenance is supposed to be done. For instance, if you have maintenance to be done on your dam,
do you have background in that particular area?
I do.
In what way? In what way? You worked in Vasco before?
No, I work on military bases up in Afghanistan, Iraq, and these places. I work with 1 million gallon tanks. That's the process. That's the water process.
You worked with with an army?
With the U.S. contracting company. Okay. Different contracting companies. Okay. I work with Floor. I work with Vectors. Recently, I worked with Qatar with Vectors.
Have you offered your services to Wasco?
I've never done, because I still had thoughts of going back up there. I'm just down here, still waiting, applying, see if I get jobs to go back. But if they want me to, I could at least go to Wasco and tell them the process is just wrong.
Yeah, but caller, your country needs you.
And the other thing about the process when you have distribution tanks there's a process when your water leaves the treatment plant and it's been chlorinated. It goes to that distribution tank. There's a process they call contact time. That water needs a 30-minute contact time process so that the chlorine could work accordingly. Then the contact time is what you call breakthrough, where that the chlorine is going to eat enough of that chlorine, so it's going to get to a breakthrough point where the rest of the chlorine is being called free available chlorine. So that free available chlorine stays there so that any bacteria that meets with that free available chlorine is being taken care of. You see, they don't have all of that. The whole process is just wrong, totally wrong. And I've been saying, we have enough water down there. We don't need to import water from Dominica. The process we need is tanks, feed storage tanks, distribution tanks. If you have 2 million gallons of feed storage tank down there in the cul-de-sac area, feeding your treatment plant, you're good. You're good. Your dam is going to recover. Your pump's going to recover. Everything is going to recover. You have another 2 million gallons on your side feeding the Castries and North area. What do you need? They don't have that. It shows you that Wasco sends the water to the treatment plant and distributes it to the customers. This is not good. This process already is not right. It's not right. This is a back-to-front process, and you can't go this way. You need that contact time on that water. You need that stuff. You need the water to be going to tanks where it sits there and then be distributed to your customers or your consumers. That's it. If they go that way, we'll never be short of water. Never. And I could assure you that. We have too many waters where we can pull water from all different rivers and fit into our feed storage tank. If we have 2 million gallons of feed tank down there in cul-de-sac area, we have that. We have that. We don't need all of that process. It's a basic process. And I've always been saying it's expensive for Wasco to do desalination. It's expensive for Wasco. One membrane element is expensive. And if you're going to run that process, you're going to need more than one element. One filtration process sometimes takes one housing takes like 4 elements. You might need like 3 housings, three sets of housings. That's like 12 elements. You're talking about $200 US for one element. So that's like $800 EC. So that's an expensive process. And you need pre-filtration in front of it. You need carbon, you need media, you need all kinds of stuff before the membranes. So this is an expensive process. So Wasco just need tanks, and the government what they need to do? Supply Wasco with tanks, more storage tanks, more distribution tanks, and we'll be okay then.
Okay,
That's
sir.
it.
Thank you so much. Well, I have your number. If Wasco wants, they can call me, and I will forward that number to you. And whilst the callers are making this contribution, somebody said to me, "You enjoying your science class?" The person asked the question. Let's find out from you, Jante. Do we have any more of your comments and reaction via Facebook and YouTube to go through?
Well, yes, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment says, "Caller, we all know that Wasco's infrastructure is not adequate. 2 million gallons of water storage is insufficient to supply the north of the island. People run a water line from Dominica to solve this problem. Caller, you have them here poisoning us. Chips." Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, "Wasco is a joke just like the government. 6 years in office and now buying water from Dominica. As I said, a one-man army in opposition. Read between the lines." We have another comment saying, "Get vexed with Ralph for calling people liar." Tim, the caller knows what he's speaking about. He's absolutely correct. St. Lucians cannot hear to preserve water. Philip J. Pierre needs to give the people drums, the same drums they send in from foreign barrels, or that's what they call them at least. Go to the rivers and streams to preserve water before everything dries out. Some of you so-called SLPs don't even have a flushing toilet, but yet you choose to write on Facebook. Wasco tet zot wed. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante. Still to come, more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages. And it appears that the developers are undertaking that project at Rodney Bay. That's the Isla project. They have issued a statement. I'll go through that statement, and that's in light of all the attention that has been brought to the fence that was erected on a section of that beach over in Rodney Bay, which necessitated, according to Marcellus Back's steed, a part of it being removed. More on that and a whole lot more on the most monitored talk show in the world.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman. From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson. I'm gonna make you mine. Herb Black. I'm so sorry. Umpa. One day, no. And Ricky T. Sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD. Food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online, fourcirclestickets.com.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LootSelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Loose Select.
Lazarus's funeral home is here for you. Lazarus's private cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's private cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Yeah, man. Great job, guys. I love it.
Yeah, man. You guys see how the place starting to look nice?
Not just nice. This STEP program creates a safer and healthier community for all of us to live in. CIP is doing so many good things in the communities and providing jobs for us. It's a win-win for everyone. I am the I in CIP.
I am the I in CIP. It's about our citizenship by investment program.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay, so fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
For staying with the most monitored talk show in the world, we continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages in just a moment. First, we have this press release from the developers of that Mount Pimar project, and the headline is addressing public concerns over temporary fencing at Ridley Beach. Public concern has arisen following the circulation of a video showing a section of Ridley Beach temporarily fenced off near the Mount Pimar development site. The fencing forms part of temporary measures associated with ongoing work, which is intended to support the transition of beach vendors. These measures will ensure public safety and allow for remedial work and upgrades to the beachfront area. These improvements are intended to enhance the appearance and functionality of the beachfront for both St. Lucians and visitors. The work is expected to be completed within approximately 2 weeks following the relocation. Isla reaffirms that public access to Ridley Beach will not be restricted. Beach vendors are actively operating and both locals and visitors were using the beach without interruption. Ridley Beach has long been an important public space for St. Lucians, and it will continue to remain accessible to the public. The Mount Pimar development represents a $1.3 billion multi-phase investment, which will include a family hotel, an adults-only resort, luxury villas, residences, a shopping boulevard, and one of the largest conference centers on the island. The project is expected to generate significant employment during construction and even more opportunities once operational. The first phase, the Life Co Holistic Wellness Resort, is expected to open soon. The Mount Pimar development is guided by the theme, Your Beach, Our Community, a Shared Future. Statement just released by the developers of that project at Mount Pimar. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we have a call on the line. In the meantime, we go through our WhatsApp message which reads, Tim, the question: is the government of St. Lucia planning to import water for the people of St. Lucia or for the hotels? Is the hotels planning to import water? At what cost? Are we planning to buy water per gallon? Well, as has been stated incessantly, you had a consortium, makeup of various organizations in St. Lucia or private sector interests. You had the Chamber of Commerce, St. Lucia Hospitality, and hospitality sector. You also had the manufacturers, the Ministry of Commerce, etc., meeting and deciding to access the services of a barge so that water can be brought into St. Lucia from Dominica, and that is to be distributed to the members of the SLH2TA. So this is being financed by the private sector, okay, by the private sector and not by the government of St. Lucia. Okay, let's see if we have a call on the landline. Once again, in the meantime, we have a WhatsApp message, and it reads, Tim, the management ever take responsibility for the failure of a company? So I don't expect this government of ministers accept responsibility for anything. Our system of governance is about blaming one man and justifying that he is hungry for power. Tim, when will that end and see the country free so as to provide proper leadership in this country? I'm waiting patiently for a serious discussion between yourself and Rick on the visa issue. Now, I don't believe Vasco needs any advice when the Prime Minister says the earth is dry, so we'll never get anywhere in this country. No one is correcting the Prime Minister with the statements that can be easily researched in today's world, shaking my head. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, caller, how will your dam recover in the dry season when there's no rain? And another one says, Tim, Wasco can't afford the man. Ask the caller, what about building an additional dam in Bexon? And let's see there. That's a BS statement from the hotel. If Marcellus did not challenge them, nothing would be done. Well done, Marcellus. That's according to our WhatsApp message. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
I actually got through the first time I tried.
Yes, Rick. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi. So I'm a little bit intrigued. Backs take some civil action, protest action. A response comes from the developer. There's no way anybody expects the developer to say anything except what is promotional of the developer.
Yeah.
So why does the developer think anybody gives a damn what he or she has to say, as opposed to our government that should have perhaps earlier informed the public of what will be happening to the public beach during the construction? Is that for the developer to tell us or for the people we elected to tell us? Who do you think?
That's straightforward. The people we elected ought to be reporting to us.
Exactly.
And also, as I said yesterday, in the first place, you have to be proactive. Your MP, your minister, etc., say, nah, you can't block the beach. At least put the fence, have it erected there, but still for people to have access, to the entire beach, as opposed to blocking off a particular area.
For me, it's not just being proactive. For me, it is respect for the citizen. His beach is about to be denied him or a section, temporarily or otherwise. The appropriate ministry should be feeling like a citizen and announced in detail what is going to happen to that beach during construction. That is not the job of the developer who is going to issue a press release. You see how much he said? It's so corny, If you were to count the number of lines there and count how many lines were devoted to how much money the project is going to entail, how much, what it's going to do, the wellness center, it's an ad.
PR stuff.
It's PR. It's clever. And it's a high time we started understanding those things. Those developers don't come here because they love you. Those developers come here because they think they can make a buck at your expense, if necessary, for themselves and their shareholders. Nothing wrong with that. Those are the things of business. But we have to understand business people take care of business and their shareholders. And it's not only here. All over the world, people, well, in the free world, business people with a lot of money will break down things that the people want to set up their own things, But the difference is, in other countries, communities come together and with strength block things, put pressure on their congressman, etc., etc. The government should not be just saying yes to things like hotels, especially in view of the number of hotels we have. When a government announces a hotel, Tim, the government should be talking seriously about water. The government should be considering seriously about pollution. These are all things that we deep in the doo-doo already.
Mm-hmm.
So any more hotels, whatever those hotels are going to produce, they have few upcoming jobs. Louis George and Lancico got into a big thing on that,
About menial jobs. I remember that.
That's right. Louis George said, don't screw around with my people on the basis you're giving them a couple of menial jobs. You see, that's what Louis George said. And that's what hotel after hotel after hotel. When are we going to stop dealing with only hotel investments? When are we going to stop dealing with investments that squeeze us long after the hotel is built? We have a serious problem with water. We have a serious problem with sewage. We have a serious problem with pollution of our waters, already horrible. And a lot of associated problems that don't spring immediately to mind. Now, a politician will tell you, well, what are you going to do? Well, that's what we put you there for. And come up with ideas and discuss those ideas in a realistic forum. And let's all get it together, because we all recognize this is a rough world, getting rougher every day. But there's nobody in the government who should hold himself in terms of intelligence higher than any citizen in this country. So maybe the citizens have ideas regarding how they want development to go. The development we are having is destructive development. It's like people being prostitutes for a few dollars. And there comes a time when the prostitute now has to live with her reputation. Her children and her children's children have to live with the reputation, even when the prostitute has sold herself on the basis of feeding a child. The children will pay forever. So we have to be more careful and more discerning that anybody comes up with a hotel. What we are afraid of, if we say anything here, if we stand up for the people, they might go to Dominica. That is how we have operated over and over and over. The government has a responsibility to tell us everything they need to tell our people regarding things like hotels on our beaches. Do we need any more hotels on any beach in St. Lucia? We already have learned that we need not have had so many hotels on our beaches. We've learned that we can build hotels anywhere on the island, fix a road, and it's 5 minutes from the beach. Any place you do it. Why do we have to keep those what Derek calls plantations by the sea? And remember, I live on this point. Plantations by the sea ain't got nothing to do with slavery, you know. Plantations by the sea is what our governments get involved with. Our governments are as much guilty of building. In fact, they take the prior. They take the prior responsibility for those plantations by the sea. Thank you very much.
All right, Rick, thank you so much for calling. As a matter of fact, what happens is, especially when those political parties and politicians and the hustings, they boast of having, through the hard work, caused for there to be so many hotels to be constructed on the island. And they asked, how many hotels did the previous administration construct? As if that's all we know as far as development in St. Lucia and as far as providing opportunities to our people. Well, we normally ask the people via our Facebook page what we should be discussing on the broadcast, and we posed that question earlier on today. Somebody said the letter the opposition leader read last night from the UK, which is totally different from the one PJP read to reporters. And let me take a break from this to just play you a clip of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, again referencing that letter that was written to him and taken to him directly from the office of the UK High Commissioner to St. Lucia.
Of the UK's long-standing concerns about St. Lucia Citizens by Investment Program and those of the wider Eastern Caribbean region. Recent known incidents have highlighted risks of individuals who purchase St. Lucian citizenship traveling to the UK for this purpose of claiming asylum. There are likely more that have not yet been identified. While I recognize and welcome St. Lucia's ongoing reforms in this area, I continue to have ongoing concerns around the sale of citizenships to nationals from regions where the UK operates a visa regime. I'm also concerned about the legacy risks presented by the pool of individuals who have gained citizenships over the last decade, and we'd like to continue working with you and your team to manage and mitigate those shared risks in a way that protects our respective interests.
Minister of St. Lucia, what we should be discussing on NewsSpin today. Some more recommendations. Somebody says there, good morning. The importing of water, that should be transparent. Also about the UK visa from the Prime Minister, much more, but these are critical issues. Another one says, the fishers who got blown up in our waters, up to now, Philip G. Pierre has not said what he has done, what kind of approach he's taking, get answers and justice for their families and the young men. Today is Fisherman Day. Another one says they're too numerous to mention. Let's just discuss even when it falls on deaf ears, especially to those who believe and sleep with the lies. Even if the truth tries to wake them up, they would prefer to remain sleeping while the country burns. Another person says there, we a whole set of hacks killing the country. And okay, that's it as far as what we should have been discussing today on our NewsSpin program. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. The island unfortunately recorded another homicide. That's homicide number 12 for 2026. The victim identified as Jermaine Modeste, 39 years old, pronounced dead last evening, 8:35 at the OKEU hospital. And that stabbing incident occurred at Mont-du-Don at about 6 o'clock. And the deceased, Jermaine Modest, is from Bois Patat. He was reportedly stabbed at about 6 o'clock last evening. Let's continue with more of your calls once again and your WhatsApp messages. Let me see if I have any of your messages. I came across this clip. Let's talk about us importing water from Dominica. And everything these days is about a meme. So you open the tap if you import the water from Dominica, and automatically there's this music featuring a Dominican artist. You close, then the music shuts, and then you open, more Dominican music, because it's all potable water from Dominica.
Me opening the pipe after the first shipment of Dominican water.
Hey, but I want to come from, boy.
Dominica, come out, boy.
What happens when you import water from Dominica? 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there, Tim, good afternoon to you and your colleague. I don't know why we Lucians so politically constipated. All what SLP does is a problem. When you don't pay, no problem. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have a call via the landline. In the meantime, we go through a WhatsApp message which reads, good afternoon. Any updates on who is now the president of the Police Welfare Association since Mr. Law is enjoying his retirement? We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing not too bad, rolling on, man. Tim, that CIP thing going on there between St. Lucia and the UK. Tim, Naïdien Creole, Naïdien Anglais. Tim, de moi, Tiboy, moi, ça, c'est Christian qui a monté l'Angleterre sans passeport. Ok? Yo pas ni passeport. Yo ka wete fait 2-3 l'année au Gabon. De là yo wete là avec de là yo mort là au Gabon. But moi ça attend Prime Minister et puis Nadi Philippe Pierre et puis elect qu'a dit qu'on c'est because of Saint-Lucien qui a monté en l'air là au Gabon qu'a stay over avec toute bêtise qu'on team. Moi qu'a dit yo there. Ça qu'a dit là c'est bêtise autre qu'a parlé au Gabon. Because South fella, or probably Saint-Lucien South, or catch bien catch out. Ogoban, you don't want St. Lucians to know what is happening. England will not tell you. You'll have to look and search for yourself, because the people you'll give 5,000 passports, for foreigners. That is what causing the problem. Which is a cause problem now. Ogoban, c'est pas Saint-Lucien qui en l'air qui a fait ces bails ça. The people you give the passport, that is what causing that, because Frederick a notifié. Et qu'a dit c'est pas CIP qui cause ça. Frederick, vous-même n'a donc ça en matière. Although tu m'as voulu t'entendre les programmes. But ça aura dit à Frederick, ou ça aura dit à ça pas vrai. C'est CIP qui cause ces problèmes ça là. Qui fait, vous mettez restriction à l'ENO pour nous sani visa pour nous monter l'Angleterre. Au Gabon, moi ni famille moi l'Angleterre au Gabon Tim. Moi t'es totalement là qui depuis femme Tiboy, il passe avec d'autres l'année passée Tim. Au Gabon. Avec moi certain prime minister et puis il est qu'à venir dire c'est because of cette Tim. Ça dénomme ça la Cadia, yo savent ça yo Cadia ça pas vrai. Au Gabon, ça pas vrai. Et n'a coupé comment mec n'a dit ça yo Cadia, ça pas vrai. C'est pas Saint-Lucien qui a causé ça, c'est passport out by ces gens-là. The passport you all sell for the foreigners. That is what that caused that. You understand? It is not that the Lucians that is up there causing that, or the Lucians that went up there. It is not that. Stop saying what you all Tim, c'est pour ça, c'est non ça, ça peut regarder, yo menti, et ça pas vrai, Tim. C'est pas cette licence, c'est pas pour yo vendre, ben c'est mon là. So c'est mon là pour yo entre l'Angleterre. Au gouvernement de vieux pays, c'est un problème pour yo, Tim. So l'Angleterre décide, oh, c'est ça qu'a fait. Au gouvernement, hot ni passeport cette licence. Kakouya quoi dit d'accord, sorti cette licence, c'est pas cette licence sorti. But because cette licence, vend passeport yo ba yo, ba les autres. So c'est pour ça. So Tim, mon cadeau, au gouvernement avec na 17 lycéens, pas coûter ça Philippe Dieu-Pierre avec il a dia. Yo savent ça yo de a dia avec Cédric ça yo toi a dia, yo menti, ça pas vrai. Ça pas vrai Tim. C'est pas cette lycéen qui comme ça, c'est foreigners là yo bay ti passeport nous, yo vend ça, c'est ça qui cause ces problèmes ça là en l'air la Tim. So nado merci pour brancher ça frère.
Merci beaucoup. He says Ukoban when he speak Creole and he says you understand when he speaks English. Right, Ukoban. Let's listen to the former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. A reminder, reacting to the decision of the UK government to impose visa restrictions on St. Lucia. That's an issue that we first brought to your attention via Dr. Ralph Gonsalves earlier on this week when he spoke on that very important matter. Because you realize that somehow some people are only playing to you that statement by the British High Commissioner to St. Lucia. You're not hearing anything from the Prime Minister, that letter he read, which I played earlier on. You're not hearing from Ralph Gonsalves on that particular issue. And creating the false impression that that decision was taken by the UK primarily because of St. Lucians seeking political asylum in the UK. And I have also gone through the explanatory memorandum on the website of the government of the UK. And that's what Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is referencing as well.
Now, let's go. St. Lucia. There's a significant number of nationals of St. Lucia who have claimed asylum in the United Kingdom since 2022. That's at paragraph 5.23. Then it goes on and it gives the data. Here the data, here they go on. St. Lucia also grants citizenship by investment. This is at 5.24. Paragraph 5.24. St. Lucia also grants citizenship by investment, a practice which is inherently high risk. Goes on to say, whilst we, that is meaning the British immigration authorities, recognize and welcome these steps, the steps taken by the St. Lucian government over the last year to reduce the risks associated with its citizenship by investment program, the UK continues to experience unsustainable risks. Unsustainable risk with the CBI program. It goes on to say this is largely driven by the historic sale of high volumes of citizenships and associated passports. In 2023 to 2024, the most recent year for which statistics are available, the St. Lucian program received around 5,642 applications, representing 423% annual growth in application volumes. This growth has directly coincided with an increase in those who have subsequently been detected using St. Lucian passports to access the UK, going on to either claim asylum or to work illegally. So both all things are linked. Asylum and illegal working and the Citizenship by Investment Program. Now, you see, in places like Britain and Canada, when you apply for asylum, it takes a long time for the asylum program process to be completed. 2, 3 years, 4 years. In that period, you're living in the country. Sometimes people get married in that time to a British citizen or a Canadian citizen, as the case may be. And then they have a different footing now to see if they can get to stay. Then they're also working illegally. This is what the British say here, you know. Not me. This is what they say in their document. Underline all the relevant parts. It's so I don't know why you look reality in the face and just turn away. You need to speak the truth. No, I'm not happy about this. For my St. Lucian brothers and sisters, I'm not happy about it in relation to my brothers and sisters from Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda in relation to the visa issue. The Europeans also have said, they have declared that CBI, the practice is inherently high risk. This is what the same language used here by the British. This is the same language being used by the Americans, repeatedly by the Canadians. Yep. Why are we not accepting that?
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastors Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastors Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
La Clinique du Corps leads the Caribbean in advanced MRI, aligned with globally recognized standards. Avoid overseas stress, delays, and cancelled scans. Reports in 24 to 48 hours. No translation, no overseas processing. Your doctor receives your imaging directly for seamless continuity of care. All major insurance accepted. Call 451-6559. Once again, 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. The WhatsApp number 721-9950.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. The people we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
The Roadhouse experience awaits. Crave something real? Get ready to experience the ultimate destination for unforgettable memories. The Roadhouse experience. Feast your senses with exceptional service, all under one roof. From our classic restaurant and bar to our exclusive private nightclub. Unwind at our elevated hookah bar. Gather in our versatile conference room for any event, or even shop at our variety store. Ditch the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Raj Roadhouse promises real vibes, real fun. Nestled in cul-de-sac along the Bexar Highway. Call us at 286-6249 for more information.
Luselec would like to inform customers that its automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 is temporarily unavailable. Customers are encouraged to sign up for the free Luselec My Account online service at myaccount.luselec.com for access to their account information, including their bill balance. Customers may also call or WhatsApp 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, or email customersupport@luselec.com for assistance from the Luselec Customer Service Department. Luselec deeply regrets any inconvenience this may cause and thanks customers for their understanding and patience.
Are you a young poet with something to say? Then this is your moment. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank presents the 2026 Creative Youth Competition in Poetry, calling all secondary schools and college students from across the 8 ECCB member countries. If you're between the ages of 12 and 15 or 16 and 20 years old, this competition is for you. Express yourself on powerful topics like Voices of a Changing Caribbean, Becoming Me, Exploring Identity Growth and Self-Discovery, and Through My Own Eyes. Let your words inspire. Massive prizes to be won. First prize, $3,000. Second prize, $2,500. And third prize, $1,500. Entries close on March 31st, 2026. So don't wait. Start writing today. For more information, visit www.eccb-centralbank.org. The 2026 Creative Youth Competition. Your voice, your story, your future.
So, good afternoon to everyone, including the Marcos. Yes, the Marcos.
Let's continue. We'll take one call and then we have a final update from Jante and try to go through some of your WhatsApp messages, and we conclude with the NewsSpin news of the day. Let's see there what somebody is saying there via WhatsApp. Somebody says, Tim, the fence has been taken down. We reported on that earlier on this afternoon. And also, let's see if we have a WhatsApp message to go through. Okay, what are you saying there via WhatsApp? Tim, remember the Prime Minister is a mystery. Stopping warring criminals had enough fun. Check all this noise. Plant what we eat from massy rationing, what we cool in our mad country. All right. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Good day. There are too many vehicles parked on the side of the government road, which causes an obstruction to both traffic and pedestrian. Some of the vehicles are derelict. You swear it's a garage. Authorities, please try and fix this problem. And that is according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have this final call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air. Hello.
Mr. Timothy Poleon, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you, sir? Good afternoon.
I am doing wonderfully good, Timothy. Mr. Timothy Poleon, Anson Maxwell here.
Mm-hmm.
I realize there is so much emphasis. People have been calling you. I see Spider call you. A whole lot of people. Dominic Fede talking about there is the National Trust. It would seem that the National Trust is convenient, depends on who is using it. And I remember the National Trust, when they asked not to take down the police headquarters, they went to court and everything. The National Trust did everything, but the government of the day did not listen. They still take it down. I am wondering, what can the National Trust do about the fencing that is on the beach? I am saying, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. My opinion on that, and I share my opinion, Mr. Timothy Poleon, that if the National Trust could not stop Alan Chasney taking down this building, why should they get involved in a fence? And if it is within their purview to do, I believe they should, because justice should be for everybody. That's one. The second thing I want to say, Mr. Poleon, is I see you playing the former Prime Minister of St. Vincent over and over and over on a matter that is of great importance to St. Lucia, and I must confess it is. But I see somebody go on social media, a high place, that blatantly take a document referring to a different place and label St. Lucia as the country for which this is meant. As a matter of fact, level it straight at the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. That person is Minova Ward. Read a document. Not one day did any one of you all refuted what was said on social media in defense of our country. And I am wondering, does that matter to you, that someone can tarnish the name?
Okay, caller, hold on there.
Our country. Yes.
Hold on there. I don't know about this particular issue that you're referencing, because it was not aired on NewsSpin. So I have no business with that. Okay, I can only account for what is said on this broadcast. If it is said on this broadcast and I have reason to challenge the person, I will challenge them. But anything that happens outside of NewsSpin, so don't ask me to take responsibility for it. I will not do that. Okay?
But Mr. Poleon, that is wow. You saying if it was not aired on NewsSpin, are you asking the public to believe, us as St. Lucian to believe,
not
that
us.
the clip you just played there of Ralph Gonsalves was aired on NewsSpin? Is that what you're saying? Let's be real, Mr.
I'm telling you, listen, Akola, I'm telling you that I take responsibility for things that I played on the program. I took that clip from Ralph Gonsalves and I played it. So I'm taking responsibility for it. I'm not taking responsibility for
what... But it's national security of our country. Both of them. If it is national security, why would you air one and not the other when someone is blatantly...
Those are two different issues.
No.
Hold on, caller. Don't tell me no. Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is in no way disparaging St. Lucia as you claim that this lady did. Okay? In no way at all. Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is making reference to the facts, which prior to me airing what Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said, I referenced the same source, which is the memorandum document. All right, that was the explanatory memorandum from the UK government. I referenced this on this program. I read it. Dr. Ralph Gonsalves read it on another show, and I played it. I reproduced it on a broadcast. Don't call me, sir, and chastise me, sir, about what somebody said, sir, on a different medium. Don't do that. That's not my business. My business, I take responsibility for what is said and what is produced on this program, sir. That is simple. That is very, very simple.
Mr. Poleon, you're stating the facts when it comes to Ralph Gonsalves, but not the facts when it comes to dealing Me never
caller,
about
leave that for
the thing about St. Lucia.
Leave that for hold on, caller. Leave that for the Prime Minister. Leave that for the police. Leave that for the Press Relations Department. All the PR people in the office of the Prime Minister. That's not my business. I did not. You see? Wow, what?
The most watched news. Most watched news in the world will not produce a news like this.
How you get it wrong again? I never said the most watched news. I said the most monitored talk show in the world, not the most watched news.
Monitoring, okay. I'll take the word. Yeah. Okay. Correction of the word.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. You're wasting my time. Okay. I have no time to discuss that particular issue with you because you are all over the place. You are erratic. You don't know what you're talking about. Why would you call me? I want to take me to task for what somebody else said on another talk show or some other medium on Facebook, and why did not reproduce it and chastise the person. That's not my business. Okay, that's not my business at all. I could take responsibility for what is said, what is produced on this talk show, caller. Okay, plain and simple. And because of that, we'll take another call, a real call. Let's try and see if we get a real call on the program. I don't know if you have your final update, Jante, to go through.
Yes, there. Starting off on YouTube, our first commenter says, caller, they won't understand what you're advertising because you're too qualified with the endless degrees. Bucks, bro, you're too powerful, even more than the ministers of government and the PM. So, my bro, I need to go to London. Can you get me a visa or a St. Vincent passport so that I can travel? The commercial and hotel sectors will be the one benefiting from the water from Dominica. The water supply situation will not improve for ordinary St. Lucians. It is for the private sector only. Another YouTube comment reading, Rick, thank you for raising these important issues. Whatever happened to sustainable development? We already have enough hotels that we cannot even provide water for. Rick is wrong about the citizens having ideas because if they had a plan, they would not have made the mood red. The little black boy government is suffering from a serious case of T-boutique mentality. Moving to Facebook, our first comment says, none of the journalists in St. Lucia have taken up that Ralph statement and air it for St. Lucians to understand, except Tim. They're all staying far away from it. Tim, don't waste your time on Maxwell. He's just a shame of PJP administration. They let the John Compton Dam dry and say half of the dam was dissolved by UWP and the rest of the money missing under Shastney and the UWP. We have another comment here saying, caller, just now Trump calling you. If I know our people well enough, Wasco will tell me he have too much qualifications for them, not enough money. Wasco is too political, that's why it can't achieve anything. On a serious note, there are ravines all around, collect that water, Wasco. PJP importing water from Dominica and Dominica imports from St. Kitts. Now my question is, how much water are we importing and how much are we paying for the water? So many water technicians on the island and yet still we don't have water. We have another comment here reading, $6 million, man, our PM not easy. We allow these things to happen in our country and remain silent. Why? The whole beach has already been sold. We have more comments on our Facebook page saying they are testing the mood before erecting a permanent structure on that beach. Jamaica, they want to copy. All beaches in the resort areas, private block with boulders. Jamaicans don't have access to none of their own beaches, only one beach left. Who does the barging belong to? We have another comment here saying, the earth is dry, lol. Wasco needs new pipes instead of PJP putting the money into serious matter. He's putting it all into jazz, carnival, and nonsense. We have another comment saying, up to now they cannot get to the Julian Alfred Highway. I wonder if she even got the land. Water pressure is too low in circulating the island households. Why these investors don't develop in our communities rather than our shorelines? Another saying, but St. Lucia has so much plantation inland. Why all these investors want to build on our poor beaches? The government is now blaming the citizens. We have our final comment saying, but if St. Lucians voted for this government, why are they seeking political asylum? Are they not happy with the choices that they made? Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Zante, for this. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, Spanish Prime Minister says that being an ally of the U.S. does not mean saying yes to everything. Spanish Prime Minister says that being an ally of the United States does not mean saying yes to everything. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back, God willing, Monday afternoon, 12:30. Goodbye.